Pastor Michael, we've been in a season on questions related to the spiritual realm. And today's question is, can Satan hear my thoughts or influence them?
Okay, that's a great question. And it's two questions in one. Okay, so the answer to one is no, and the answer to the other is yes. And guess which one is which. I have really, really good news for anybody watching. And Satan is not all-knowing. And I think sometimes we get this idea that we take the omniscience of Jesus and we kind of make Satan like a parallel figure, almost
transfer it to him.
Yeah, like they're equal, you know? And I don't know if you remember that Carmen music video from back in the day.
Yes.
And we're like, Satan and Jesus are fighting. And it's like, is Jesus going to win? We don't know. It's neck and neck. That is not the way a battle between Satan and Jesus is ever going to go. So Satan is limited in knowledge, just like you and I are limited in knowledge. He is a created being, limited in space, time, etc. So the question though is, now Satan lives in the spirit realm, right? And he exists in the physical spiritual, but he's spirit by nature. And the question here is, are our thoughts physical or spiritual? And if they're spiritual, like everything you think, are you sending out like thoughts into the spirit realm? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so there seems to be, there is no biblical evidence that Satan can hear our thoughts. That our thoughts are inherently spiritual in nature and reverberate, like just like my voice now reverberates in the physical. There's no proof that my thoughts are inherently spiritual by nature. God can hear my thoughts because God knows everything. God knows the thoughts of a person. I think the one passage that is kind of definitive on this whole issue of whether or not he can know our thoughts or hear our thoughts is 1 Corinthians 2:11. Paul says, "For who knows a person's thoughts?" And the idea here is no one except, and he gives two exceptions, the spirit of that person, which obviously we know, which is in him. So also no one comprehends the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God. And here's this idea. No one has access to know what is in your mind. We see on TV The Mentalist, right? We see these people who can read thoughts. No, what they're doing is implanting discerning and they're trained, etc. But like the idea that someone could actually know what's going on in your head, that is limited to you and that is limited to God. The only other way the demonic realm is going to know what's in your head is if you say it out loud.
You express it.
When you express it, some people have come up with this like concern that you should not pray out loud. You should only pray in your head so the demonic realm can't hear you. And then another group of people come up with this idea that no, you have to pray out loud if you're trying to influence the demonic realm because they can't hear what's in your head. And if they can't hear you, then it doesn't count. So if you're going to rebuke the devil, it has to be out loud. So Christians are all over the place. At the end of the day, if I rebuke the devil, okay, it's not inherently me doing it. It's going to be the Spirit of Christ that accomplishes that through me. So whether you do it in your head or out loud is by and large irrelevant. But to the issue, scriptures seem to communicate that Satan does not know what's going on in your head unless you say it out loud or tell him. Now, can he influence us? The answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah. We've talked about that in previous episodes a little bit, but it's important to talk about it here too, I think. Yeah.
Like, I don't think you or I have a category of how a spirit being can influence either the physical mind of a person or where the soul and the body come together, the spirit of a person. So intrusive thoughts can be spiritual. They can be from the physical realm, right? How that works, I don't have actually a clue.
Yeah.
What I do know, though, is that I don't need to be a victim to them. So he can influence how that mechanism works. I don't totally know. I do understand how influence works when you are subjecting your mind to, we'll say, worldly content, whether podcasts or movies, etc. Those influence you. I don't have a clear understanding of how a demonic spirit is going to influence my spirit. I just know, though, that there is a capability for demons to influence my mind on a spiritual realm. It does not have to be something I am desperately afraid of or concerned about. Scriptures do seem to communicate, though, that there is the ability to influence on a spiritual level. So 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 4 and 5, I think it gives us the best insight into maybe how influence happens. Paul says, the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. Strongholds are, in this context, mental ideas that are holding you captive. We destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God and take every thought captive to obey Christ. And what's interesting is that he gives two avenues that strongholds get our brains, right?
Yeah.
One is from outside ideas, lofty arguments, bad ideas. The other is our thoughts. I don't know how a demon can influence my thoughts. I do know, though, from personal experience and from hearing countless stories, the idea of intrusive thoughts or really strange, dark, demonic dreams. I do know that there is that capacity.
Yeah.
You can't always stop it if you don't know it's coming, but he does say that we can take captive every thought. So just because there is a demonic intrusive thought does not mean that we have to become captive to the thought. Paul says, no, you take that thought captive. So again, you're going to get demonic ideas from, the world, TV, media, etc. You might get demonic ideas from oppression or somehow some intrusive thought. But either way, we destroy bad ideas in the world by having the knowledge of God, and they raise themselves up against God's knowledge, and we say, that's actually not true. And then when an intrusive thought comes in, we take that thought captive. We don't need to be captive to it. I think most people, when they have these intrusive, especially demonic thoughts, they get petrified and freaked out. And oh my gosh, you don't need to be freaked out about it. It's a demonic intrusive thought. So you know what we do? We take it captive. We crumple it up, we throw it in the trash, and we say, that's actually not true.
Yep.
It might feel scary. There's a lot of things that feel scary, but doesn't mean they're true. Doesn't mean they're a real threat.
Yeah. We have we have agency, right? We have the ability to make decisions, and we still have choices we make. And that's, it's not like once an intrusive thought comes in, you have to act on that or you have to dwell on it, right? So that's why I love this passage, the fact that we have the ability to take thoughts captive. I love the phrasing and the turn of phrase there. And every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, we destroy it.
Yep.
Right. So
Isn't that great word?
We have the ability to act within ourselves and also against the spiritual attacks, whether it's from the world or from our own minds, right? Wherever it's coming from.
It's, this passage is why, if you've been at Village Church long enough, I talk about cultural mantras all the time, and I call them for what they are: ridiculously stupid, illogical, immoral, and they bypass your brain and give a big hug to your heart. And the reason we say that is because we want to destroy these arguments. I want to call them for what they are: evil, foolish, ugly, and demonic, right? We're not even nice to these ideas. I am compassionate for people who didn't know they were demonic, but I am not compassionate to the idea. And I love this phrase, it's kind of empowering as a pastor and preacher, right? No, I'm in the business of destroying these arguments. I want to obliterate them so badly that any person under my leadership who is tempted to embrace them or consider them goes, that's actually they're just dumb. Yeah. They're dumb and illogical. But this is the nature of these arguments, is that culturally they feel good. Yeah. But if you double click on it and you just think about it a little bit, you're like, this doesn't even make sense at all, But then you were saying this, with the intrusive thoughts, I don't need to be captive to it. Yeah. Even if it keeps coming back, I don't need to be a slave to that thought. The hardest part is when, I don't know if you've ever had this, you're scared of something, but you can't control the emotion. And so what do we tell preachers? If you're scared to get in front of people, what's the best way to overcome that fear?
Get up in front of them.
You just get up and do it, right? And if you're afraid of an intrusive thought that keeps coming back, the worst thing you can do is coddle the fear. The best thing you can do is stand up against it and lean into it. Study the fear, study the thought, think the thought, talk about the thought with wise people, and you just go at it. Otherwise, the next time that thought comes, the fear goes deeper and deeper. And I want to destroy lofty arguments. I want to destroy intrusive thoughts. And the only way to destroy them is to go at them. Yeah. And so whichever way you get, can Satan hear your thoughts, Ryan?
He cannot.
No, he cannot. Praise God. And can he influence your thoughts? Yeah. It would appear so. Yeah. And are you a captive to those? No, not at all. Praise God. Yep. I'm really actually glad, because I do not want the devil knowing half the things go on in my head. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for the sinful things, I feel like he would exploit them. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just not in the mood to be exploited any more than I already am. I'd love to tell you that my mind is perfect. It is not.
Yeah, we want to raise up people, Christians, that are critical thinkers, that are thoughtful, that are processing through this. So thank you for equipping us and helping us think through those passages. I love that passage, so thank you.